3.6 multiplying fractions. I can multiply fractions.
Question from Thank You Manal. Question for our class. What is easier? Wait until I'm done asking the question. What is easier? Multiplying fractions or adding fractions? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Multiplying fractions.
Who can tell me why multiplying fractions is easier than adding fractions? Why is multiplying easier? You gotta use a loud voice. Abdullahi.
Because we don't have to convert it to a mixed number.
Nope. You're on the right track, but you're not saying the right thing, Mohammed Amin.
Because adding and subtracting, you have to find a common denominator. But multiplying fractions, you just multiply.
I think that's what you were meaning to say, you just didn't say it. When you add and subtract fractions, you have to have a common denominator, right? When you're multiplying fractions, you don't have to have a common denominator. So you can skip that whole step of finding a common denominator, right?
Yeah.
That is so awesome. All right, a product is an answer to what type of problem? A product is an answer to what type of problem, Janice? A product is an answer to what type of problem, Janice? A multiplication problem. Okay? A fraction is part of a, everybody?
Whole.
Okay, explain the difference between a numerator and a denominator. Ismail. Louder.
Numerator and denominator are the
Louder. What is the difference between a numerator and denominator, Catherine? Really loud, please. The numerator's on top and the denominator's on the bottom. The first group, your cheat sheet idea was this. Numerator, top, denominator, bottom. That was the first group. Second group, you said a product is an answer to a multiplication problem, right?
Yep.
Okay, now let's go down and take a look at what this looks like. This is our process. It is pretty quick. When multiplying fractions, you multiply the numerator, you multiply the denominator, and you reduce. Done. This is what it looks like. Number 6. 2/3 times 1/4. Everybody, if we're multiplying the numerator first, or the numerators first, what's 2 times 1?
2.
If we're multiplying the denominator second, what's 3 times 4?
12.
Can somebody tell me what they notice about 2/12 as the answer? What do you notice, Zeke?
That
You need to reduce it. So Zeke, what's this called when we make a bubble? The bubble method. And inside the bubble, we put what we would reduce with, right?
Yes.
Zeke, what are we reducing with?
2.
2. So 2 divided by 2, 1. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay, now I'm going to go down to number 7, and we did the same thing, except we got an answer of 12/10. We reduced to 6/5. But what happens, or what is the problem with 6/5 as an answer, JJ? Why is 6/5 a bad answer? You trying to think of the word? Why is 6/5 a bad answer, Manny?
Because 6 is bigger than 5.
6 is bigger than 5, therefore it becomes it is an improper fraction. Can answers ever be an improper fraction form? It says right over there in the cheat poll, answers must always be in mixed number form. So because it's an improper form, you know a fraction is also part of a whole, but it's also a kind of problem. What kind of problem is a fraction?
A division problem.
It's a division problem, remember that?
Yeah.
And so this is what you worked on with Mrs. Nelson and Mrs. Cookson. You did your division, you put the top number in the box, the bottom number outside the box, you get your 1 1/5 for your final answer.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Nope.